Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm a little early today, which is fine, but it is May 29th, and you'll notice that my background's a little different. There has been a lot going on. So if you guys haven't been here for a while, let's just talk about some of the different things that have been going on lately. I've been dealing with some court stuff, as you guys know. Obviously, my kids are getting out of school. So the first thing that I want to touch on is um, my kids being out of school. So I'm just going to let you guys know up front right now that the goal is to have a long form video every single week. I am at a place where I can get back to that, which, hi, Grace, how are you? It's good to get back to that schedule. I was in I was in a really bad place. I did not realize how much this whole court thing took out of me until I was out of it. So I'm back. I'm getting back in my schedule. With that being said, my kids are going to be getting out of school. So live streaming for me, I don't think will be able to happen over the summer. I'll be able to do it when I'm able to do it, but it won't be on Thursdays and it won't be regular. So, but that is something that we'll do back when they come or when they go back to school. With that being said, the goal and the plan is for long form content every single week. So that's what we're planning on. I'm working on a Sherri Papini video right now. I'm in the middle of editing it. I will start with my long form videos starting again next week. And to be consistent every Wednesday. And that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I didn't realize how much this took out of me. I also moved a lot of things around in my office. Obviously, as some of you know, we've taken my sister into our home, and I've been getting a room set up for her and a place set up for her. So I've made some changes here. And I just ask, I have asked that you guys be patient, and you guys have, and you've been wonderful. So with that being said, that's going to be the new summer schedule is going to be long form content, and I can stream when I can stream. And that's the joy of having children, is you can do what you can do when you can do it. But with that being said, we're going to look at Sherri Papini's interviews. If you guys don't know, thank you, Grace. Yes, family first, always. And it is. And, it just, it is. It just is. So I've been getting things set up with my sister. That has calmed down. We're doing the things that we can do to get settled in the house. Now it's going to be the transition of getting the kids settled in the house, out from school. My son will always, because my son's autistic, he'll always have extended school year. So he'll always have summer school. But that's only from like 8:15 in the morning until noon. And I still have my daughter. So, if I can go live, I can go live. If I can't, I can't. That is what it is. But the long form content, I will be just, doing what I can do. And that's all we got. So I want, Sherri Papini interviews. This video, I have to tell you, the first video coming back and making it my Sherri Papini video, I am so obsessed with the story. But also, I just have to tell you that I had so much fun making this video. And there's just so many crazy things that were said and that were done by her. And I'm really excited about releasing this video. So I hope you guys are excited to see it. What is this? Is this the full... So this is her first interview. Let me see.
Didn't see it.
Nope. I want the full interview. So let's get that, and then we could all watch it together. And if you guys don't know the Sherri Papini story, and the reason that I'm doing this is because, number one, I've always been obsessed with this story. But number two, she's coming out on the ID channel, and which I can't wait to watch. So I told my sister, okay, by the way, let me know what you guys think in the comment box. But my sister is 16, okay? And she's wonderful. She is just so funny and so naive. She's 16. So when I tell her, or she hears me editing these videos, she'll be sitting there and she'll be like, what is this? So we were talking about the Sherri Papini thing, and I was like, it would be so funny if like you were either just off on the screen, nobody had to see you, or if she wanted to be on screen, like that would be fine. But if I just told her these stories and she could react to them, because it's hilarious, like some of the stuff that she says. Anyways, let me see if I can find Crime Circus. I just want the original video. Oh, but anyways, I'm sorry. I am not organized. If you guys don't know about Sherri Papini, she faked her own kidnapping and then she got caught and now she's coming out on the ID channel. And then I think some people, or she's like, this is ridiculous. It's not what you think it is. The story isn't what you think it is. And I want to see what she has to say. I don't know why. It's kind of like when they gave Casey Anthony a platform or when they gave Scott Peterson a platform. I don't know. But it is what it is. So let me find where is the full interview? I don't want behavioral. I just want the full. Let's see. Sherri Papini full interview. I want the one like right when she returns with police. Because they have one from Dreading, which is a great channel, by the way. I love them. All right, well, I guess we're just going to have to go with this one. So, hold on. I also changed screens. I changed my setting here. There's a lot going on, okay?
Anyone at the Bourgets? Yeah, because we know a lot of people in the neighborhood.
So this is right after she reappears. So she gets kidnapped. She's gone for 22 days, and then she reappears. And this is the first interview that she gives with police because she wouldn't talk to police because her abductors told her that the cops were buyers. So she thinks that the police are in on it, just for a little context. And by the way, big context. It's all bullshit. So just so you guys are aware that none of this actually happened. Okay.
So, and I look for that because I like to wave to people.
Right. You're the stay-at-home mom. You're home.
Yeah.
You get to see people.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to.
Okay. What is happening? Does he just like pop in? Okay, he just pops in and out. I don't like this. I just want the full interview. God bless it. Where is just like no commentary. So anyways, my sister wants to watch this with me, which I'm interested to see what she has to say after now knowing the story. Just original? Why can't I find the original video? They have the one where she's in the office, but I want the one where she's sitting at the table with the bandage on her nose. Where is that one?
It's new video.
No, not that one either. Great. Now I can't find it. We gonna have to watch the Dreading one? No. All right. And if I type in no commentary, so I can give it commentary. Let's see. All right. Let's see what Dreading has.
I grew up in a small country town.
Hold on. Oh no, because he takes it all from Crime Circus too. All right, well, I guess we don't have that option. We're gonna have to watch Crime Circus's video. So,
And welcome to
this story is so crazy. I'd love to see the reaction of a teenager who doesn't know anything about it. I have to tell you, my sister is so funny. Like, you should have seen her face when I told her. So I was reading some of the script, and Sherri refers to these women as Hispanic colored, and I'm Hispanic, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, she would fucking hate you." And I just started dying. It's just so funny. Just her, like, her brain, the way she processes things, like, she felt so bad for me in that moment. Oh God.
Crime Circus. You're in for an interview.
All right.
So for you, for that first time to be able to say, you know what, I'm Sherri Papini, and this is what I want right now. Nobody's going to tell me any different. Nothing's going to happen to me. You can't do anything to me that I've already been through to make me do what you want. And if that was the point that where you were at in my own head when you said that, I walked out of the room smiling. Because it was awesome to see somebody who hasn't been, you didn't let it eat you up. Everybody, you fought every day. In ways that we'll never know, ways that you'll probably never remember. But you did, because you were able, very first time I talked to you, nope, leave, you might as well not be here until I have tea. And
you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're not my husband.
No, you.
I know I'm not your husband.
I wonder if the police know at this point that she's full of shit. I can't remember at what point. I think they originally knew, like when they first found her, they were like, something's not right. Something's up. But I can't remember if at this point they knew or not.
Oh yeah, because
You
you
remember that
walked
day?
in the room and I saw your face and I was like,
Nope. You're not the man I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
exactly what that face looks like, and
yeah, but well, because I'd already kicked a bunch of people out before you even got there.
absolutely.
I don't know who the guy was that was in there. I want to say he was one of the CHP. I kicked him out twice.
Was he the big older guy with the chains?
Where do you mean? The other floor?
Well, I don't trust technology, especially when it's not mine. I think we're good there, but I just want to run my audio for backup, so that way I don't screw something up. I'm just looking for a closer outlet.
Way over there.
There was
I could probably
There's
find
one
an
up there.
extension
You have a little
cord.
extension cord?
Yeah. Is that?
That's mine. No, extension cord, so this can be on the total.
There was a blonde woman, a smaller blonde woman.
Yep.
Was she CHP or was
No,
she?
she was Yellow County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. But there was, I don't know what he was. I want to say he was CHP because when what was the lady with the short black hair?
Yeah,
She's the ID
she's the ID tech.
She was great.
Yeah.
And she seemed to be very protective and because she was kind of talking to me a little bit and I was very angry and I was very frustrated because when they first pulled up, I asked them multiple times to cut off the zip tie because my hand was like turning blue. Like my hand, it was cut off and they wouldn't do it. And that was very frustrating to me that no one would cut it off. And I was telling her that. And I said, they wouldn't let me talk to my husband. I want my husband. And they weren't even untying me. And he said, "We did untie you." And I was like, "Get the fuck out." "No, you didn't." Because he yelled back at me like, "We did." And I'm like, "No, you didn't." And
How long did it
yeah.
take you to get
The way she talks to police is bizarre. I gotta say, it's just like, it's so weird to watch.
there as opposed to everything else?
Yeah, no. So I just was very angry, and that guy really, I didn't care for him much.
It's easy to
Also, to sit in these interviews for hours and just continue to lie is insane. Insane.
do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Can I use the ladies' room?
Yes, absolutely, by all means, yep.
She'll probably bring it up, and I know you guys know the right questions to ask, but just because I've been here, there's a few things that I went through that already. I can explain what the markings mean.
Keith, can you say what today's date is for me? Just do it, what's today's date?
It's the 28th, right? November 28th?
Okay.
2016.
And poor Keith, I feel so terrible for him. Like, I would rather my husband just have an affair. Just have an affair instead of whatever this is insane.
Some people, this one you say everything.
So during this, like we've already talked about, this is going to bring up a lot of the old stuff. Things are, because regardless of how you feel right now, this is stressful. We're going to be talking about stuff. You know, you're going to have to start talking about some stuff that you may have been keeping back on purpose, maybe, and you know you're going to have to go there. This is super stressful. I've been on the other side of it because I get in trouble. I'm not that type of guy. Push the element, and I'm in the sergeant's office going, very, even I do this for a living, it's still, to be on the other side of it, it's hard. I know it's stressful. We all know it's stressful. So it's going to trigger stress responses that you haven't learned to understand yet. So if it gets too much, you're in charge of this. I don't want anything that you're not willing to give me. I don't want to push you farther than you think you can go. We're here for you. I'm here for you. If this turns into something that we need to do once a week, we'll do this once a week. If this is
Also,
something
I
we
can't
can do all
imagine
at once,
wasting
we can get it done
this
all at
much
once.
time.
But I
of
want you to
police
know,
and police
bottom of my heart, you're in
resources.
control of this. We're not here trying to make this worse, or to, at all. So if we get to that point and it's too much, if we just need to take a break, tell us. If I notice that we need to take a break, I'm going to say that. My goal is to continue to help you survive this. So that's the rules of the interview at this point. If it's too much, tell me. If I think it's too much, I'll tell you. So you're still in charge. You're still in control. You're still in the go get my husband. You got that.
So, and just so you don't think that I'm being rude, there's other things that are going on, obviously. So if you see me grab my phone, and if you see me texting, by all means, I'm asking permission to be rude, because I may have to text somebody for stuff that's going on.
Okay.
If I get up and walk out, please don't take that as, well, he's being rude, or you said something that is, okay, I'm just laying the ground rules so that, because we've learned in the past, when you start doing this stuff, that sometimes people take offense to that. But so I'm that guy. It shouldn't be Kyle, because everything's going to be funneled through me if there's something going on back at the office, because there is the other part of this investigation that is currently going on. So I just want to make sure that you understand that, just like Kyle says, I'm not going to start out, okay, tell me about this. Basically, we're going to just ask you to tell us your information whenever we get going, and you just tell us everything as you want, and as we go.
She smiles
Ask some questions, clarify some stuff, and hopefully by the end of today, we have a very good idea of what's going on. So like Kyle says, you're in control. You need to take a break. Say when, and we'll go off air and all that kind of stuff, okay?
I feel like sometimes it's easier with my eyes closed.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. You can do anything you want, other than assault me or hit Kyle. You can hit Kyle all you want. I'm good with that. Just don't hit me. So that's what I mean. If you need to, that's everything you need to do, you can do.
And we brought draw stuff. We brought every tool.
Keep saying that I'm like terrible at drawing.
Yeah.
Well, no, we have the
Terrible
pamphlet
at
over there
drawing
because
things,
obviously.
and we've been trying to do cars, and I'm like the worst car person. ever when it comes to that
Keith is
stuff.
actually like a machine gun, like enough.
And
You know what?
and
More,
that-
one more.
And that goes into play with me. If I hear you talking about something, I'm not going to stop and interrupt you. And I may have a thought or may have knowledge where I may get on my phone and I have a person at my office that's designated to come here to bring me things if I need them.
Okay.
So, there's no one else outside. I don't know. But if you're talking about something, it's like, that makes sense to me because of something I saw. I'm just giving you a suggestion. I may text somebody, hey, bring me X, Y, or Z. And they may come and we may show you. I mean, that's how it's going to work out. So, obviously we had to relocate, our office here. So logistics is a little problem. It's no big deal. We're a mile away. I have people waiting there.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So I just want to make sure you understand that I don't want it to distract you. Okay. So,
I apologize. I feel like everything's distracting me because I can see outside right now.
would it be,
So-
do you want to move somewhere?
No,
Do you want to go to the couch? Do you want to have your back to the beautiful river?
Close those, if you know.
What do you want to do?
I think being distracted is okay.
yeah, no.
It's so
And if you see me
casual.
get up or put my head down, because I'm good at interrupting when you're talking. Because I might think of an idea, I don't want to do that. So if you see me going this, or I got to get a drink of water, I will always be, I'm not going to leave the area, but it's mainly because I'm like, oh, I really want to say something. So I'm not going to do that.
Are you allowed? You can talk, right?
You can, but we don't want to
It's
interrupt
more
you.
for you. Because even on the first day, I was asking you questions, and I was like, "Oh, that's not important. Let's get to this other thing." And they're like, "No, let's see
No,
what to
that's
talk." And I was
good.
like, "No, we need to know this."
When you were using the restroom, I had to admonish Keith, okay,
Chill.
don't interrupt her. Okay.
It's interrupting that breaks your thought process.
Yeah.
It's not the question. It's just sometimes the amount of questions and on questions on top of questions before you can fully answer. We're trained to remember, like, wait for that pause, like when somebody's done talking, and then we can interject, like where everybody else just wants the answer tomorrow. No, let's just get it. Why? Like, was it green? Was it yellow? Was it black?
Who, what, where, why, when? Now I don't get it.
We got this. So we're not admonishing you for doing that. We're just trying to keep your mind going on the same track it was a second ago.
Okay.
The other thing that I need to add, we have somebody available also with a camera that has alternate light sources that it can pick up the different bruises that even though we can't see, I don't know what it seems like. I don't know how it works. I know it's got lots and lots of different lenses. And it will take photos all at once, so it can bring up the different, so like the
Layers of bruising.
the scar on the back, hopefully to be able to pick up what exactly that is, because we're still unclear.
Yeah, all the scabs are gone now.
Yeah. And I'm
That's
sure you
something
guys-
we can, before we get done, we'll touch that topic.
That's the camera you already used, or
No.
It's the one that we have.
It's one we got from
available.
DOJ.
okay?
As it takes photographs, it has infrared and it has built-in filters. So as it takes the photographs, it does it. Because right now,
With some of the things that they say, I can't tell if she's like concerned with how much like technology they have, or if she's trying to seem like intent, or if this is like a kind of an oh shit face right here. You're just like, is she like, oh man? Like I just wonder, when does she have like the clarity, the moment that she's like, I'm in too deep. This is too far.
right now, the photographs we have to run them through a filter. And
I was
so
gonna say she took a lot of
she
pictures.
did, yeah. No, and the photographs of the scarring on the back, we ran it through several filters and we're able to clear it up a little bit. But DOJ has another camera that actually, as it takes the picture, it has its stuff built in, so it's more refined. So that's probably something we can worry about later this afternoon when we get done talking, if you're cool with female crime scene tech, come over, take some more photographs of you to try to help you guys get some answers to some questions. So we're not gonna go there now.
Yeah,
But
it's for later.
once we get to that point today, we can. She's on standby at my office. She can be here.
It's not the same one.
No,
Okay.
it's one of our girls. It's not the Yolo. She's a good lady. Afterwards you talking about Stephanie at Yolo County.
Yeah.
She's a great lady. I'd love to have her work for me.
Yeah, I liked
She's
her
awesome.
a lot. She was
Um,
great.
But I have another lady.
I don't know what we were talking.
I don't think so.
The bigger lady with the short dark hair.
Short dark hair.
She was taking
Turn
all
on
the
the camera.
pictures and
Before that.
swabbies
I never
and
saw
stuff like that.
So anyways, that's,
She was great.
before we leave today, we can approach that and have her come over here and privately take photographs and look at that stuff and get that stuff squared away. So hopefully we can get some better answers for you. Okay? So, you cool?
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question.
Go ahead.
She wanted to see some photos. I mean, we took some on my phone only because there's been a couple times where she goes, she'll remember something. Oh, I hit my head on the part of a car, or I remember this. And I think if she did see these photos, so I was wondering if she would ever get a chance to see the good photos, not my little iPhone ones.
Did you bring,
I just have pictures of the cars. I didn't bring those videos.
I can have those brought over. I thought you had them. But yeah, that's why the laptop's here. So at whatever point, if you think at some point, if I saw a picture of this, it would probably help me remember, then we'll pull up the picture.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm giving you a lot of latitude here. Okay, this isn't, so rather than, I think we all have an understanding of the game rules and plan, and
And it doesn't matter. I can always stop you and ask questions in the middle anyway.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so.
And at the end of this, you can ask whatever questions you want. We will do our best.
So we'll get started.
A lot of this, again, was just really,
12:21.
I don't, I mean, I still don't know you guys.
Okay.
But I have absolute faith in my husband. And, I think, taking him away would make things harder, so I feel like it will be easier with Keith
Absolutely.
here.
That's, if you want him
And
here,
it's-
he will be here.
And I'm feeling very nervous because I still don't really know you guys. I mean, I kinda do,
Is
but
there anything we can do to help you
So
feel
bizarre.
more comfortable with us?
not. Yeah, I don't know if that was helpful. I don't know.
I told Kyle why you had some
Well, it is helpful
concerns,
because
but
obviously
he
it seemed
knows-
like
he
you
knows
felt
why.
like you were concerned about Keith not being here or not.
Oh yeah, I can't be alone with
So-
people I don't know.
So
I
he's
know.
here.
Yeah,
He's here for the duration.
That's- not so
I'm
much.
cool with it.
We weren't even worried about it.
That wasn't even a topic or question that we've even brought up because from day one, I already told Kyle, Keith's gonna be there. That's a no-brainer already. And that's, she needs him there. So that question's not even on the table.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, I'll help you. We're here for you. So if you have questions you want to ask of us, personal questions, make you do that, we're here for you. Things come up later, things come up right now. I'm 100% here for you. Like I was for Keith, every time he called me, I called him back as soon as I could. I texted, I never let a text go unanswered. I will continue to be that. I'm still yours. I'm still Keith's. I'm here till this thing's over. Even once it's over, you guys still have this. I'm a permanent part of your life now.
As long as you want.
She's
Whether you
like,
want it or
"Great."
not.
Great.
Even once this case gets done, they go to prison. We wrap it all up. I will still work for the sheriff's office. I'm still here for you.
I mean, this is my, what is it, 16? This is my 7th year in investigations for the most part. I was a frontline detective like him for 3 years, and then I promoted to sergeant, and so now I oversee the unit. And from 2009, 2010, some of my cases when I started working majors, homicides and stuff like that, I still have contact with family members on anniversary dates with those people. I still call them and say, hey, just checking in with you, see how you're doing. There's a man that lives in Wisconsin.
You know what really makes me upset about this is I did a video about a woman named Denise Huskins and Aaron. He's now her husband. I forgot his last name. But she was actually abducted and taken to a place and abused and assaulted and all these nasty things, and the cops treated her like shit and they never believed her. And she went through all these horrific things and living this trauma over and over and over again to try to tell her story, and then re-traumatized by the police department who didn't do anything for her and actually threatened to, arrest her for lying to police. It was insane. It's an insane story. And then to watch this happen, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that somebody could waste this kind of time, waste these kind of resources. And then also by Sherri Papini doing something like this, when a woman like Denise Huskins really does get abducted and then dropped off, and, you know, and a lot of these terrible things happen to her, the police are like, yeah, you're lying. You're lying. Because people actually lie.
Johnson, his daughter was murdered, and every August, I give him a call, or he calls me. It's usually he calls me ahead of time when he's on the road. Says, "Hey, I was thinking about you today." I said, "Yeah," and it's a 5-minute conversation.
And the thing is these police officers, like he's saying, like that he's, you know, doing interviews and he's seeing people whose children were killed. They see real things happen to real people. They are watching in real time tragic things happen. And then you just have somebody like this.
And because that's the impact that this stuff has. There's, I think all but maybe 2 cases that I have contact with people where they just call out of the blue and say, "Hey, I saw your name I saw your name in the news today, and wanted to call and tell you, hey, it's thinking of you and good luck." I got several of those calls in the last couple of weeks from down south.
It's so irritating.
So it's, you know, a lot of times people have involvement or little involvement with law enforcement. They see the uniform, you sign your ticket, and you go pay your fine, right? I mean, that's usually the most extended that everyone has with an officer. Was the officer nice? Well, yeah, he's just doing his job. Then there's the other side where you have police officers, detectives, investigators, whatever you want to call them, that are invested in people's lives. That have okay, I don't have to care for you. I don't have to care for Keith. I don't have to care for anybody, right? That's our God-given ability. We don't have to care for people. But there's something that grows inside of us as we get mature, as we tenure as law enforcement, when we think, you know what, there's a little bit more than just, you know, writing tickets and taking people to jail every day. Where, you know, there's an investment.
There's good stuff too.
Yes.
In there somewhere.
Yes. So, you know, I know Kyle's heart. Kyle and I have had one-to-one conversations. Kyle and I have had teared up conversations.
I have to tell you, I make jokes and I laugh when I get nervous, and I do make a lot of like weird jokes at inappropriate times. Yeah, this is not it. This is not it.
Okay. Kyle and I have been shaking our heads at the same time, trying to figure things out. I mean, there's emotion behind it.
Because also there's a natural reaction that your body would have to these things. There would be I feel like a natural emotional response when you're going through this. And it's not like sitting and giggling and like, ugh.
We're just not, there's not, you know, brazen, you know, cops that just don't have feelings or care, okay? I've cried in the shower. I try not to cry at home a lot in front of the kids because they don't like seeing it. I've cried in the shower because of frustration. I'm tearing up now. Okay? I mean, that's the level of care that you have. I don't tell you.
I feel like she's zoning out.
You know, there's a heart involved when we actually care or give a shit about people. Okay? And for whatever reason, God has allowed it, that he and I are on your team, that he's on your team, and that I'm allowing him to run with it. So, I mean, you don't know who we are. That's who I am. I know that's who Kyle
he is.
Right.
And if he says you're okay, you're important, that's what
So that's where we're at.
trust. Yeah.
She brings it back a lot to talk about how much she trusts Keith and how much stock she puts into Keith. But she did this to Keith.
So if you want to, it's
Also,
the ball's in your court.
I don't know. There's certain things that are very difficult to explain. There's certain things that for me, it's a feeling. It's not facts.
Okay.
So if there's something that's not a fact, if there's something that I was feeling, because I don't speak Spanish, but there was a lot of body language, and I can understand body language.
Okay.
So there's things for me that I feel went a certain way, are those
Okay.
things that you want?
Yep.
Or are those things you want me to hold back because they're not facts?
You tell me anything you want.
Okay.
You tell us what's on your mind, what's on your heart, and what you thought, what you felt, what you smelled, you tell us everything.
Okay.
And then we'll put them through the investigation and through follow-up questions.
So to you, everything is important?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
doesn't, okay.
Yep, there's no stupid comments, there's no stupid questions, there's no stupid answers. Everything, I wanna know everything on your mind.
And that's, because I'm thinking about everything a lot, and that's where I'm like, is that important?
Yes,
Is that important? I don't know. Maybe I should move on, because that's probably not important. But then something's like, no, that's important.
And when you get into little cases, big cases, little cases, all fall on one little thing. All of them. Like no matter how far you've gone back, no matter how much, it's that one little thing. Like, you know what? There was a red couch or a red throw pillow. Like here, like in the big scheme of things, how many people have a red throw pillow? Probably a couple. But how many are gonna have a red throw pillow that I showed up to?
this shouldn't be anybody for us.
That shouldn't be right for me.
And just so you know, there's only one person at my office, two people that know that we're here. The detective and my lieutenant.
UPS.
UPS guy.
Some guy's running away.
So with that, it's that one little piece that that throws it all together, and we don't want to miss that.
Okay.
So it is important.
Okay. Also, my skin is still very itchy everywhere, so I apologize. Everything is itchy all everywhere.
No problem. Where would you like to start?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So on November 2nd, 2016, what happened?
She seems
Start us
very
off.
immature.
On the day.
From the beginning.
Yeah, just start with there and see what happens.
Greetings. I'd like to tell you about today's video sponsor. It's the Lady of Florida. Your life the lens every credit joint purchase than me.
Let's talk about the Christmas present with Keith.
Okay.
I started wrapping a Christmas present for Keith, a little American flag pillow that Tyler and I had picked out the night before at Kohl's.
That's an interesting place to start.
And I couldn't find any tape. I had taped one side, ran out of tape, and then couldn't find any more tape anywhere else. Got very frustrated, left it on the ground and left it open because there was no more tape to complete the wrapping of it. Did my usual routine, fed the chickens, cleaned the house, cleaned everything, just the usual. Nothing, yeah. Text message my husband to come home for lunch, which, looking back is quite embarrassing. He's like, thanks for, that last text message. Honey, will you please come home to have sex with your wife for lunch? Yeah.
So you text him to come home for lunch, and we're cool. Okay, we know the connotation. Gotcha.
Oh, that morning was weird too. Tyler had woken up from a dream, and I don't know if either of your children have ever done this, but when your kids wake up and they're like shaky and it's the worst. It's the worst. Tyler had woken up very shaky and wanting Keith and was very scared, but couldn't remember why he was scared. He was just scared and he wanted Keith, and that was kind of an odd way for him to wake up.
So you went to daycare that morning, right? Do you remember that? Okay. Tell me about your drive to daycare.
Ordinary, just the
Normal
usual.
day?
Yep, absolutely, just the normal. Fed the kids breakfast. Dropped them off at Pandora's. Nothing unusual. It wasn't even a hard goodbye. Sometimes they're like, "No, don't leave me." It wasn't even like a hard, difficult.
I also like doing this to your husband is one thing, which obviously I don't condone. This is not something I would ever do. How you could do this to your children is so bizarre to me. Ugh.
Goodbye.
Okay. And then when you left daycare, tell me about what you did after daycare.
Drove back home.
Okay.
Did my usual. Put on my poop shoes. Went out to the chicken coop. Cleaned the coop. And then just started my usual cleaning, everything.
Okay.
Keith had been coming home for lunch pretty often, and had been doing like the at-home lunches, which has been nice. We've gotten our little alone mommy and daddy time.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, yeah. So it had been nice that he's been coming home pretty early and stuff like that.
Anything out of the ordinary on your way home? Anything out of the ordinary when you got home or out taking care of the chickens? Anything that caught your eye or hear anything out of the ordinary? Chickens, by the way. How many chickens do you have?
We used to have 10.
Okay. Sorry. Sore
God,
subject.
We lost
So
a couple.
Got it.
Yeah, no, we used to have 10.
I have chickens. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, we used to have every type of chicken.
That's
I'm pretty sure.
She tries to like be silly. It's such a weird her body language and her actions and the way that she talks and tells these stories does not fit what's happening right now. This is a police interview because she just got kidnapped, and it's like the two things just don't go together at all. And I understand that people, react differently in emergencies, but or like traumatic situations, but excuse me. This is to be like silly and like lighthearted it's just it's just a weird one.
It was the two Americanas that we lost, one of which was one of my favorite ones, Lady Hawk and America. My favorite chicken is still there though, which is she's human size.
Is that the silver lace? Don't you have a silver lace?
We have an all black Orpington
Yeah.
who's gigantic
Yeah.
and soft, and Violet's so cute because she wants to feed the chickens all the time, and the kids are great with the chickens. And Tyler can actually do a checkup head to toe with chickens, and Violet would feed Maribel, and Maribel would kind of walk up to her because she wants you to pick her up like a baby and cuddle her. And Violet will be like, "This giant chicken's chasing me!" And then she'll run, and Maribel won't chase her. She just wants to be with her. So then they're just like running around in circles, and Violet's getting chased by a giant chicken. So it's adorable. But yes, no, the chickens we love our chickens.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of chickens do you have?
I have two. Hang on a second. I wasn't thinking about talking about chickens right now.
Right, because you shouldn't be fucking talking about chickens right now.
No, Delaware
Okay.
whites.
Uh-huh.
They're all hens.
Uh-huh.
I have two Delawares. Then I have two sex links. The red ones, the red stars, which they're bred between they're the sex links of a Delaware hen and a Rhode Island rooster. And then I have a black star, and she's crossed between a barred rock and a Rhode Island rooster. And then I have a barred rock. I had two, lost one, raccoon. And she's big. She's got the comb on her is so huge it like hangs over her eye. I mean, it's like she's wearing a red beret. But she's the loving one. She'll come up to you and want to sit with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a little Rhode Island red. Used to have two raccoon, and I have the 7. So, and they're molting
We are
right now,
30
so
minutes
like,
into this
Oh, they're a
and
mess when they molt.
nothing.
They're
They
so
are so
ugly when
ugly.
they molt. Yeah,
I
I
would
know.
have
Hi,
to stay with
Mr.
checking and make
Pike.
sure that they're all cool and checking for bump feet and, you know, all that stuff. And
Tyler, my 4-year-old can do that right
So I
now,
was like-
which is really cool.
thank God I'm not trying to sell you guys because nobody would buy them because they look so horrible right now.
Yeah.
But so anyways, they're fun. It's my thing. I've had them for about 2 years.
It's so wonderful with our children,
Yeah.
and that's something I love very much. I'm
Oh, yeah.
very much attached to that because, and that was, you know, the 4-H and stuff like that. It's wonderful, and it's so great that Tyler, you know, he knows. He even like knows like that vent of that chicken's not laying an egg. I'm like, what? How do you know this already? You're 4 years old. Yeah, well, it's very fun.
No, it's good for them.
She's talking about anything but the reason that they're all there.
That's right. I pulled you that way because I brought up the chicken thing.
No, it's nice to talk about something nice. Nothing out of the ordinary. Wrapped up present, got frustrated, changed into running clothes.
Okay.
I love so much that my husband knows my clothing so well that he knew what I was wearing.
Back to
I was
complimenting
wearing
Keith.
that pink Nike hooded sweatshirt with the thumb holes that I hate, and the black tight. I don't want to say they're leggings because they're a little thicker than that, but black tight, stripy, not really stripy, just kind of black and white speckled, we'll say.
Okay.
And my black and white checkered. Are they Under Armour or Nike? I think they're Under Armour, right? Under Armour tennis shoes.
On the pink top, is it all pink or is it gray?
No. There's pink on the up to the shoulders, and then it's gray here, and I'm pretty sure the hood is pink.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the pink, and it has those little annoying trendy thumb holes that I don't like.
Yeah. I tried it. I guess it's for snowboarding. So they keep your sweatshirt underneath your
Oh,
butt.
yeah.
So you put those in. So it's for snowboarding, from what I understood, because I was getting mad at it. I'm like,
Put it on a running jacket.
what?
Yeah.
It looks cool.
I don't think it was cool. I think it was obnoxious, but yeah.
He's wearing gloves. Or running gloves, I'm assuming.
Really wasn't wearing any running gloves. And then did my usual, started my app. I've been training for a race. It's been, well, okay. I got implants, and it's been a long time since I got to run because you have to heal from the implants. And me and running are, I want to be a better runner. I like to run, but it's difficult for me. So like getting back in the swing of it, I had an app that I would use that does, you know, run this far, walk, and it amps you up to like a 5K. Because a few years back I had done the Casa superhero run, and I didn't think I was going to be anywhere close to it, but I wanted to get back to doing that because I loved that run. It was really fun. So yeah, I was doing I want to say it's called the 5K Runner app that I was using.
35 minutes in,
there's a
she's
song I listen
still
to every time I
talking
run.
about nothing.
So I put the song on.
What's that song?
Our wedding song. It's a good pace keeper because there's a couple songs I listen to, but that one is the only one that I listen to that doesn't make me run too fast and it puts me in a good mood. So that would be Michael Bublé, Everything. It's our wedding song.
Of course.
Stretched a little bit on the porch like I usually do. Started running. Saw the maybe there was 3 guys cutting the tree at what's his name's house? The guy that did our Toby. Thank you, Toby's house. Was on the left side of the road. Then a car was coming over that hump right before Connie's, so I changed to the other side of the road. Waved to that person.
There's a lot of detail.
Turned right onto so down Casa. Turned right onto Sunrise.
A lot of
Yeah, good.
detail about things that don't matter.
Did you see anybody outside when you were running?
Not after Connie's. I did see people
Hi,
outside when I was running,
John.
but not after Connie's.
Was there any other vehicles besides Connie's?
Or the one
It wasn't Connie's. It was a neighbor driving down in front of Connie's.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who that was. I hadn't recognized her before. It was a female. I didn't
Sounds like
recognize her
a female that was coming out to pick up her niece
before. Okay,
in that area. We spoke
I
to
think
her.
you said that.
Yeah,
yeah.
she was on her way out to pick up her niece, take her to the mall.
Well, everybody waves in our neighborhood too. When you go buy cars or anything, everybody kind of does the wave in our neighborhood. But I didn't see. I always look at Christina's parents' house, which is the one right when you get the paved area, because I grew up with Christina and her parents were there, and I lived literally around the corner from them my entire life. My childhood, I lived around the corner from them, and now my adult life, I live around the corner from them. So whenever I go there, I'm always looking at their house because I'm always waiting to wave to them or see them, or didn't see them.
I'm so annoyed. For those of you who are just coming in, this is a woman who faked her own kidnapping for 22 days, and now she's giving her version of events to the police. And we are 38 minutes in, and she's talked about chickens and how much sex she has with her husband and how great her husband is. And yeah.
Didn't see anyone at the Bourget's. Yeah, because we know a lot of people in the neighborhood. So, and I look for that because I like to wave to people.
Right. You just say, "Oh, mom, you're home.
Yeah.
You get to see people."
Yeah, didn't see anybody else. Did my absolutely usual. Got to the mailboxes, or just before the mailboxes started to slow down.
It's almost like she's
I was just about
refusing
transition
getting
into
to
walk
the
So it's
crime.
run, walk, run, walk. Right when I got towards the mailboxes was right before it was gonna say now slow down. That's what the app does.
We've listened to the app. It's
Oh,
pretty
God.
powerful. Now walk.
Yeah.
Now slow
You're
down.
halfway through.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
doing good.
Yeah.
So it's a funny app.
Yeah.
So you get almost to the mailboxes and you think
Sorry, my lips are like cracking and
do you need some water?
no, everything's like this.
So you're
Painful right here. Sorry.
good. You're about to the mailboxes.
About to the mailboxes
And these are the mailboxes near.
at the end of the Sunrise Drive. My mailbox.
And if I forgot to tell you this one tidbit when we laid out the ground rules. Sometimes we're going to ask some dumb questions for clarification, like I just asked because I knew it was there, but for our case management, sometimes we have to ask clarifying questions. So if I ask a question or Kyle asks a question, you're like, "Are you really that dumb? You don't know what's that mailbox?" Okay.
It's something you probably have a form that needs to be filled out or something.
No, it's because in court processes. So
Mr. Pike,
if you
this
don't mind,
is
I'll
about a
just digress from anything,
kidnapping.
right?
No, that's okay.
We don't need
You say you
chickens
were
right
running
now.
to your mailboxes or the mailboxes, and we move on through that. And 2 years down the road, he or I are in court, and somebody wants to ask us questions about the mailboxes. Well, how do you know it was her mailboxes? Did you ask her if it was the mailboxes? So that's the kind of crap we got to deal with sometimes.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why we ask some of those dumb questions, because we get not so much on the prosecution side, but she knows what we're talking about. Defense attorneys to try to poke holes, to try to
Well, and
do
Keith and I
the-
had
so
had
that's-
that. Yeah, Keith and I have had that conversation as well because I told him one of things that I'm before all of this, I watched those shows. I watched those shows and and I read Elizabeth Smart's book. Like I don't know, I was the weird stay-at-home mom that watched the random what are those
Mr.
shows
Pike,
called?
so
True
nasty.
Yeah, but
Taken.
the
ID channel.
reality TV. I was like this stupid. I wasn't soap operas, but it was reality TV. Like I watched all that stuff, so I'm thinking about that now. Where I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my God,
someone is
get to
gonna
the
be on her
point.
side, defending her against all of this crap, and because I watch those shows, so I understand what you are saying.
that's where I'm coming from when we ask.
Right.
If we ask a question like, "Are you really that dense? You don't know which mailboxes I'm talking about." It's not because I'm dense. It's because I'm safeguarding us down the road, so we can
Right.
not deal with all that
I
shit.
understand.
Sorry for
And
cussing. That's what it is.
I've been cussing more than you have lately. No,
Sorry.
and that's another thing that I'm thinking of about,
Extremely calm, John.
running out of my
Too
seat,
calm.
choking someone.
Joking and
it's just-
laughing
that's
and being
difficult too for me, 'cause I
silly.
told Keith, and that's another thing I'm scared about. I don't know you guys. I don't know if you're in my corner. I know my husband. I know my husband's in my corner, but, there was a lot of other things, and I know that you guys know everything about everything. And
Yeah.
It's embarrassing and
Well, and
yucky, and that's weird for me. That's weird for me. This is very weird for me
yeah,
because
it's
I know that you know
Yeah, it's
everything about everything, and that's
well, and I know Keith.
awkward.
We all know what we're
That's the
talking.
best way to
and
say
those are
that.
some
That's
things
very awkward for me.
I get it. Well, I understand that. Kyle understands that. I think we all understand that. But
I almost
um,
feel like she's annoyed by
that's
that. They
not a
know
problem
everything.
for us as far as having to deal with that. It's not. We're not looking bad at anybody. We're not casting judgment on anyone. It is what it is. Okay, stuff happens. The problem is that
Hi,
that stuff is out there.
Madelle.
We need to capture it. We need to clean it, and we need to be accountable to it as far as the information and move on from it. It is what it is. No one's perfect. No one does everything right. I mean, there's no problems as far as that stuff goes on that you've alluded to that we know about. Okay, we'll talk about stuff. We'll talk about people we talk to. I have no problem with that. I'll tell you everything that I can. There's nothing. Kyle will tell you everything that he can. Okay, it may hurt. Okay, I mean,
Yes.
and
We have a
I'm
community
empathetic to that. I know
leaderboard.
Keith's empathetic to that. But the bottom line is
That's exciting.
how we move on from here, how things get rehabilitated, and how lives get put back together, and how we all get move on from this and become stronger. Okay, So all that stuff that you alluded to, not a problem for me, not a problem for Kyle.
We are now
Okay.
45 minutes in,
She's
and
right here
she's
with you.
talked
Okay.
about nothing.
We're all good. Okay.
Is this mine?
So when those topics and that stuff comes up between us here at the table, it is what it is. Okay. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use the word "I don't care" because that has such a negative connotation. But in reality, that stuff. When I say I don't care, when Kyle says I don't care, it means it's all good. It is what it is. And we're not gonna. Well, what about this? This is not true. We're not gonna do that crap. That's not what we're here for. But it is part and parcel to this investigation. And we found it. We investigated it. We ruled it out. So that's how these things go. Like when
John,
God, yeah, crossed the T's, we went and found everything we can for several
thank
different
you.
reasons. It's like,
John sent a That's My Opinion gift membership. Model, you are a member now. So, that's the other thing I wanted. Okay, so let's recap the beginning. When I first came on, I was talking about my scheduling. My kids are going to be out of school. I'm not going to be able to go live as much, but I think what I'm going to do is do members only content, like more about my personal life, and then I'm going to do long form content, but I'll be back to live streaming when they go to school. So today is like my last Thursday live stream. I'll live stream during the year if I have, time or get time, but it's just going to be more random instead of scheduled. But thank you, John. So yeah, I miss being here too, but everything's getting back to where it needs to be. My schedule isn't going to be the same. So we're just going to have to deal with it until August.
How this investigation tore out, there was really three things going on. During this investigation, we didn't want to skip one thing. We didn't want to skip over one detail because that's when we make mistakes. That's when we miss it, and that's when we move so beyond it that we can't even come back to it.
Even to the point that what was it on Wednesday? Somebody went to jail because of this investigation. A guy up off of Copper Canyon. I walked an arrest warrant through on a registration person who was playing games with us, and we went and paid him a visit and searched through his nasty. All of us almost puked from the filth he was living in, and he went to jail. That's a restaurant up off Copper Canyon. I don't know if you're aware of that. We took that guy's job. Did Kyle tell you about it? Somebody told you about it? So we booted his door in.
You've got great friends.
We booted his door in and woke him up. And he's, I don't know if he's still sitting in jail, so I haven't worried about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to do long form content over the summer, and then I'll be back. But the thing that's exciting about when my kids go to school is they'll both be at full-time school. So I'll have much more time to stream, if not 2 days a week instead of just one, but I won't be limited to an hour and a half, which is going to be amazing.
So I don't care about that stuff and how on the outside people may say or whatever, but on the inside here, it is what it is. And we're on your side. Okay, we're here to defend. We're here to look for people that have earned the
And I
right.
don't care about, the whole what people say about.
It's easy to say that.
I don't care. I care about here.
Well,
I care about here.
I imagine.
Do you care? Oh my God! God, I hate this woman so much. I don't care about what other people say. I care about here. I care about here in this house so much that I faked my own kidnapping and disappeared for 22 days to go stay with my ex-boyfriend. What?
That those conversations have happened in the last couple of days, or
Yes.
at least been touched a little bit.
Yes.
And hopefully they got brought up when I told Keith from your get-go. Don't look into this anymore. It's very little to nothing. It's minute enough. We have to chase it. That's what I told him. We have to look into it. We had to see it. And what we investigated, we found out that it was minuscule.
My husband wants to get chickens.
And
I
that's what I
won't do
told
it.
him specifically. But he didn't have anything else to do. So it wasn't. So that was from the very get-go. Right after that went down, I told Keith that it was minuscule to nothing. But we have to look into
My
it.
loyal bacon bits.
Sort out.
Sure.
I love you guys.
And that falls on those two lines I told him. It was always, we were always going down two roads. The abduction because we had nothing, or you possibly had left because those are the only two options that we had. And the easiest one to look at is if you walked out or not. There's money. I can dive into you 6 ways from Sunday and I can find some stuff. But on this rare abduction side, we're looking at chances. I'm looking at somebody driving by, noticing something minute, and now finding that person who saw that minute detail that I need, as opposed to there's paper on you, you're a normal, you pay your bills. Like I can find those people all the time. But now, and that's why that investigation was always going two ways. And Keith and I talked on Saturday about that. Like why? Because it's easier to build up evidence on things I can go see. So yes, this might have piled up, but it never went over because the abduction was so small. I couldn't find anything.
Chickens
Through
would
all
give
these
me
things.
more
That's why that
stress.
was always alive. It would never have gone away until I talked to you. And that's why
And
there's
I feel like it's just a shame. No,
Absolutely.
it's things that I
Okay.
thought about when I was
Okay,
there.
gotcha.
It's the shame.
Yeah, and that's normal. So I mean, that's
Another thing I'm doing. So
absolutely. But you know, all of us are adults, and all of us have had lives. Okay, none of us here at the table are perfect.
John.
And it all depends upon where your hearts are and how you attack and how you address it and where you want to go from there. And that's between you guys. You know, that's on you. That's on Keith. Okay, it's all survivable. You know, it's all. I mean, it's if anything, make you guys stronger and you guys go on and live your happy life. And you know, I'm not here to preach to you or be your marriage.
Yeah, they ended in divorce, by the way.
But so yeah, I mean, there's some of those topics that we're gonna get to whenever they come up. If you don't bring them up,
Oh
then
my
obviously we'll
God,
ask
just
about it.
get to
It's
the
not-
point.
It's more of a clarification and more of a clarification and advice. Question you asked me like a little while ago. That's why we're all here. That's why Keith is back on topic. So you just about get to the mailboxes.
Okay.
The mailboxes at
Yes.
Sunrise and Old Oregon Trail.
correct.
Go from there if you can.
I'm before the mailboxes. I start to slow down. I see a vehicle go past. I see a vehicle go past Sunrise Drive to maybe like the front two tires are past the actual street sign, and then it backs up. And I immediately have
LMB,
that.
you are not joking. I get that they're trying to make her comfortable, but come on, this is ridiculous. You know, and that's why I have to ask. I have to ask if they know at this point. I want to know if they know. Because if they do know, then at this point, they're just gassing her up. They're just messing with her at this point. But if they don't know, I have to assume that there's a part of them that's like, this is bullshit. Also, welcome in.
Feeling of that was weird.
John has seen the scale chart.
You're doing good, Sherri. If you're having
the
a
window goes down, but it was a woman, and they back up.
All right, we're at normal speed.
Are you having a hard time recalling? Or
It's frustrating because I know.
All right,
I
now
know
here's
she
the
was
first
wearing
thing, and
a-
I'm not a detective, so I have to assume that the detectives like caught onto this immediately. She talks about wrapping a gift for Keith, and she had the tape, and the tape ran out, so she set the tape down, and then she went to do X, Y, and Z, and then there were all these little details, and she came out of the house, and she could see 3 guys, and they were cutting down the tree, and you know, all of these other things, and detail after minute detail after minute detail. And then she gets to the major thing and she remembers nothing, which is interesting to me because, yeah, she can remember all these details of what happened because they were real. There was probably 3 guys cutting down that tree. She probably really was doing a Christmas gift and tape, and all of these things she can remember in detail because they really happened. And now this part, she has to make it up, and she has to make sure that she remembers it so it's consistent. And she can remember nothing of this time.
But I can't see the color, and I can't see her clothes.
okay.
Which is interesting too, because she's like, I watch all these true crime shows. I know all about this. I've watched this a million times. Well, you would think you're watching these shows, you're like, all right, I got to remember the color of this car. I got to find as many details as possible. And she can have as many details as possible about everything that doesn't matter, but then all these or none of these details about what would matter. It's just a very bizarre thing in my brain. If you disagree, let me know.
Rather than
Focus on the small details. Let's talk about the big details.
I'll make a note. We
She
can come back
asked
to
for help. I want to say it's maybe like a hey or something to get my attention.
Her head is down because now she
Is that
starts
the
lying.
passenger or the
The
driver?
passenger.
Okay. Is the car on Sunrise right now, or is it still on
No.
Old Oregon Trail?
It's on Old Oregon Trail.
Okay. How far away do you think you are when that happened?
John gets the cut your hair in the middle of the night crazy.
What are you asking?
When the car stops? Do you know how-
Stab you with a
how
pen
close
crazy.
Which time? It stopped twice. Once when it went past the street sign, once when it backed up. Which time were you asking?
Both.
Wow, she stopped crying quickly.
The first time, again, it went past Sunrise Drive sign, but not all the way. Backed up and stopped.
Also, if they do know that she's full of shit at this point, it's like, how do you keep your calm? That's what I want to know. How are you not just like, bitch, shut up?
I want to say there's a fire hydrant right there.
I forget.
You can keep asking small questions if that helps, or you just need to think about it. Or we can move on.
This is such a bizarre watch.
Walked towards where the vehicle had backed up, but was still far enough away from it that, because I was still cautious, I had my phone in my right hand and my earbuds on, and I took out my left to hear her. And then she opened the door. And then I saw the small revolver. And I immediately ducked down. I crouched down, like in a ducking, crouching.
Like all the way on the ground? So like the fetal position while you like a catcher's
I mean,
position?
my knees weren't on the ground.
I also find it odd, not only is she having a hard time remembering, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but her emotions they come at odd times. Like she cries when you don't think that she would normally cry. And then like this moment, somebody just pulled a gun on her, allegedly. Didn't, but that would be the time in my brain that you would think the emotion would come back, right? Because she's scared and there's no emotion here. They seem misplaced.
It was almost,
Can you demonstrate?
yes. It was, okay, so across the road.
Oh, she gets up to
phone's in my
reenact.
hand, earbud out, towards the vehicle. This, not all the way down, squatting,
Okay.
not crouching, squatting. Laid my phone down. I can't remember if she said, we don't want to hurt you, we don't want to kill you. I can't remember exactly if it's, we don't want to something, we don't want to something, we don't want to something. And then I put my phone down. As soon as I put it down, I was so mad because I couldn't call my husband. And as soon as I put it down, and then I turned.
I wonder if Keith knows. I wonder if there's a part of Keith that's like, holy shit, she's lying.
And
I pulled my hair out because I ran away, and I didn't, and I should have, and I just, that's all I.
Do you want to come back up to the table?
And then I got up and went this direction. And I can't remember lifting my leg. I can't remember the back door open.
Just take a drink of water if you need to. And I want to run something by you and see if this might be able to help a little bit. Take a breath, do some more. You're good. You're recalling things from like your first person view, correct? And you're going through, you're seeing it through your own eyes.
Maybe.
Do you understand what I mean by that? You're doing good. Okay. But as you're going through this, you're pulling your memory from the backside of your head and trying to remember everything. And sometimes it goes back to your brain saying, I can't get there right now. It's kind of like a computer. You click on it, and the browser pops up and it says not responding, right? We've all been there. Okay. So sometimes your brain says, we're not accessing that part right now because it's not time. We're not ready for it. So I've done it in the past with different cases where you look at it from a different point of view, okay? Because your mind, your body
I haven't
uses
seen any
different parts of
tears
your brain
yet.
to access different pieces of information.
She wipes her
Believe
face
it
a
or not,
lot,
that's
though.
what happens. So it may sound corny, it may sound silly, but sometimes it works and sometimes it helps the person telling the story. And for like this instance, if going back to before you see the car, if there was a bird, a bluebird, a robin, whatever bird you pick, sitting on the fence line, sitting on the mailbox, sitting on the telephone line, or sitting in the tree, and this bird,
Like when I said I think there was a fire hydrant right there.
yeah, kind of. But
Okay.
if there, let's pretend, okay, and you have to roll with me on this because it does work, it does help sometimes. If there was a bluebird sitting up here in the tree, and the bluebird sees you running down the road, and then the bluebird sees this car come up, can you imagine in your mind, looking at it from the bluebird's perspective, what is that bluebird seeing going on? Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's how you would like me to explain it to you
If you
currently?
can.
Okay.
If that will help you, because it's, and I'll refer to that as the bluebird perspective.
The detective has the patience of a saint. He's letting her dig a hole deeper and deeper. I wonder if they watch this tape back. I really do wonder if they like sit around at the at the police station and just like put this on repeat sometimes and just giggle about it. Not pulling the memory from the backside of her head, it's pulling it out of her arse. I wonder if she wanted to be an actress when she was younger. Yeah, she bad. She's bad. She's bad.
Okay.
Okay. So do you understand what I'm saying? So if there
The
was a
bluebird sees me lying to you. The bluebird can see through my stream of bullshit.
bird out there, sitting up there, fat, dumb, and happy, doing his thing, and the bird walks by and says, oh, here comes that pretty lady running down the street, and this bluebird's just watching this whole thing and just sees it. Okay, we could use a
The
camera.
bluebird
We could
sees
use
nothing.
But I'm going to use a bird because I think
Because
it
nothing
fits.
happened.
What is that bluebird seeing on that day?
Nothing.
So roll us back from whatever point you feel is appropriate.
Running to the mailboxes, cutting diagonally. I didn't cut diagonally until the car, because the vehicle stopped, backed up, and then stopped again. And then I cut diagonally, but was at I stopped at the grassy area. Squatted, pulled out my hair, had my hands up. That is it.
Does the bluebird see which side of the car you got in on?
I
Her points are very matter
Well,
of
the
fact.
car didn't move after it stopped, so I would say that would be the passenger side.
But you don't know.
I don't remember.
That's fine.
Like bullet
don't-
points.
And that, I don't even remember the back door opening.
Okay. And when you're talking about back door, you're talking about side door or hatch? Or do you know?
The passenger side of the vehicle, there was 2 doors.
Okay.
I don't remember the back
The
door,
rear passenger.
correct, opening.
Do you see yourself getting in to that part of the car?
No.
What's the next thing you remember? What's the bluebird see? Does the bluebird see which way the car goes? Or what's the car do next?
No. It wasn't what I saw, it was what I felt. I was very nauseous
Okay.
and cold.
What's the next thing you remember seeing or hearing?
Smelling.
She had to make sure the bandage on her nose was straight. Listen, I am trying to like put myself in a situation where and I know people act differently, but like when I'm trying to recall things, I've never been in a position where I'm like, "Oh, I can't see it, but I can remember how I felt." Like to me, that's one experience. You see things and you feel things at the same time. It's not like, oh, I can't see what's happening at this moment of time, but I can remember that I felt this way. And I don't know if that's just different. I've never personally experienced that. It's just a weird way to describe things.
Laundry detergent on the pillowcase that was over my head. Pillowcase, hood, sheet,
Do you know when
something.
do you know when that was put on your head?
No.
Do you remember where you were when you realized it was on your head?
She's very
The
robotic.
floor of
Floor.
the vehicle. On my side.
Is the vehicle moving or stationary?
The vehicle is moving.
Were you asked to put it on or did somebody put it on you?
I woke up with it on.
How did you fall asleep?
You're doing fine. This is good right here. Okay?
You know, because of somebody like Sherri Papini, I really wish that they had a woman interviewer in here with her, because I feel like she's so used to manipulating situations and getting what she wants that having 3 dudes in this room, I really think it would have benefited them to have a woman in there that maybe isn't mean, but just sort of puts up a block or a wall to just ask direct questions. When did you fall asleep? How did you fall asleep? Like things like that. Because I feel like she thinks that she's in control of this room because everybody's, it's Keith and 2 male detectives.
Do you remember, was there filtered light coming through the hood? Do you know what I mean by that?
Shadows from the road?
Okay.
Yes. It was light.
Do you have a sense of speed that you're traveling?
It was windy.
We'll smack her.
Okay.
Windy roads make me nauseous.
Okay. Any recollection of time and distance from before you stopped? And tell me more about
I
that.
remember that's what the first thing I remember is the nausea and waking up and trying to.
You mean smack her back into reality?
Trying to move. My wrist hurt really badly and my hips were very achy
Why exactly? Why did she fall asleep? What was it that made her fall asleep? Did they knock you out? Did they drug you? Did they tase you? What happened that you fell asleep?
I'm doing fine. Do you need anything?
A better story.
Do you remember?
I suggest you guys, I'll put a link in the chat of this video. I suggest you guys go check out my Denise Huskins video. And just the stark difference. I'm going to put it in the chat right now and I'll see if I can pin it. You guys have to watch this video because it's so bizarre with this and then that. Just, oh, the contrast.
Remember getting out of the car?
No.
What's your next memory?
Feeling very cold.
Were you clothed?
Yes. I had, the only original item I had was my underpants.
Wait.
Describe those, please.
Here, hold on.
White Hanes underpants.
What size?
Small. I think that's for that brand's a 5S.
Are they like
Wait a second.
bikini cut, standard cut?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Just what style are they?
white cotton.
Oh, there you
White
go.
cotton.
White cotton Hanes 5. I think they.
All right, so I've put the Denise Huskins video. I've pinned it to the chat. The stories, they called her a gone girl. They thought that she faked her own kidnapping and there were all these things that actually happened and the way that she recalls memories and the way that they treated her like shit. And then we have this. It's just, after watching this and knowing the Denise Huskins story is just insane.
I want to say 5S. I'm pretty sure we're in the same brand right now.
Well, maybe next time you take a break, why don't you double check, see what they are?
Yeah.
We'll hold off on that for now. Can I ask some follow-up questions? Can I maybe take a break from going forward?
Yes.
When you went for the run, how many times did you play through the wedding song?
Maybe 2. Maybe.
Okay.
It's hard because that app interrupts everything.
When that
Because it
app, when that
has
app,
instructions.
so when that,
Slow down and walk.
when that app says slow down, does it shut your music off?
Yes.
And so then you.
Well, I don't want to say it shuts it off. It muffles it. It talks over it.
Okay, but it doesn't do a hard stop. It just will overplay on it.
Now she's
And then
back
once
to being normal.
he's done talking,
Then it goes back to the music.
then it goes back to the music.
Yes, it doesn't pause it to talk. I think it just talks over it.
Sorry, I'm just thinking some things about your phone when we found it.
It's
So would you
When I was looking up, I was looking at my own Bluebird.
okay.
would you replay the Michael Bublé song for the majority of the run, or would you?
It was on repeat. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't download music to my phone. I didn't really because I listened to Pandora and Rhapsody. But that's one that's actually on my phone. So I didn't have like a wide variety of music for it to go through. And besides, I like listening to that song because it keeps
Michael Bublé's like, please, God, why me?
me at a good pace for jogging. Because usually when I listen to other, then I start running faster and then I wear myself out faster because I'm like, running to disco music, jogging faster.
Prior to that day's run, okay, prior to that day was November 2nd.
Mhm.
When did you run last before that? When was it?
God, I don't like to run when it rains and it had been raining.
Would you say 3+ days, a week? Any independent recollection? It wasn't the day before, right?
I don't think so. I think it was raining the day before.
Yeah, it was probably crappy that day.
You know, that's a great question. I don't remember. I want to say Denise was 2019. I'm going to look that up. That might be, that's a great point. Give me 1 second.
I don't like to run in rain. So probably I would say, doesn't it have to have a date on it? I think the app keeps track of the day.
That was
I don't know.
So many
Anyway,
browsers ago, I can't recall right
I'm gonna say the last sunny day because it rained for a long time. Because I don't like to run in the rain. It's messy, muddy, and annoying.
And that app was not very helpful. Was it a free app? Yeah, that app wasn't very helpful. We call the app builders.
No. LMB, wait. It was before. She was kidnapped from her boyfriend's home in Vallejo, California in 2015. And they thought it was because of the Gone Girl movie. And then Sherri Papini did this. I would like to know, like, what's the statistic about people who fake their own kidnappings. I'm gonna look into that.
And all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't like to run in the rain, so I'm gonna say the last time I ran was probably the last break in the rain.
How often were you running?
March 23rd of 2015, Huskins was abducted from her boyfriend Aaron Quinn's home in Vallejo, California. And then Sherri Papini was 2016.
At what point did you start running again? Was it regular?
After my implants healed, after my implants started healing, I started doing like at-home yoga and exercises and things like that, and then was slowly progressing into running little bits here and there. Sometimes I would run around our yard. Like if the kids were napping, I'd pop the monitor in my hip and run around our yard, which I hated. But it was really weather dependent because I'm a wuss and I don't like running in the rain.
Keith, do you have some thoughts you want to add in for clarification?
So I went through before my daughter put the wrong code in my phone and erased my entire phone yesterday.
We got a backup after like the third.
Actually, I was going to ask you about that. But I had all my notes before that. October 18th, she sent me a text saying, the first time I ran since my
I just didn't know if there was something.
Yeah, so I was going to say she started out. The other thing is, you told me a story, you were running and a guy whistled at you. And to me, that was either a day or the day before you ran. So I would say you either ran the day before or the prior day.
Okay.
Because I remember that being fresh in my mind after all
We'll
this.
whistle letters, mailboxes or something.
Okay, I whistled at her, and that was the day she went running, and then we had steak. We made a little dinner.
I remember that because he whistled and I went, you're not listening to me, right?
And I don't think it was, obviously it wasn't Halloween night that happened.
Yeah,
So
it was
that
the
tells me
Gone
it was
Girl
either the
connection.
Or it was in the 30th. So it was within a couple days that you ran. And that would, in my opinion, was only like the fourth, fifth time you ran.
Well, and I talk to Keith every time I run because I complain about it.
Me too.
So, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, every time I ran, I feel like I talked to Keith about it because it would be, what did you do today? Oh, my run went great. Or, God, my run sucked today. And my lungs were burning. And it
No,
wasn't.
my opening is so much longer than you.
I did have a couple of things I was writing down that she told me that
Can I use the ladies' room?
Yes, double check on brand if you don't mind. We're gonna have yours.
Oh, yeah. Got
in
it.
style and all that stuff.
Sorry, excuse me.
You can ask her when she comes back. I just want to know if she started that song when she left the house. I think it was playing while she was running past the tree guys. But she did say that she remembers the girl, the front door was open, and
Hello.
she said 1 foot was on the ground, not 2. But she didn't necessarily say it was on the ground because I was showing her a different vehicle. Oh, that kind of looks similar. So I would ask her about her leaning out, pointing in the back. Is kind of the vehicle she was looking at, down there, trying to figure it out. Because of course she had something overhead, but 2 seats in the front, and the driver and passenger seats. And then she feels there was no other seats in the entire thing except for one. And then the rest
God
was
bless
just.
it.
I was like, was it meta? She's like, why are you waving your arms there? She said she couldn't.
A lot of those vehicles, that front row always has that one seat that gets to the back, and then has that double bench. So maybe that's what that is.
Literally the same package that is
Okay.
in their Haynes 5S. It doesn't say like the
Oh, there is a
style
woman in there. I wonder if she's running the camera. There is a woman in there. Interesting.
or anything, but they're sorry.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, so just like that.
Regular women's underwear.
No, that's fine.
Oh, no,
I'm
that's
not
Sherri.
getting too in depth, but obviously there's a method to my madness.
I understand.
Never mind.
That's why I grabbed them and brought them back.
And she also, and you'll ask, I believe she said that it was the older lady, the younger lady driving.
That you had in the last couple of days about some of your men. So he was just telling us, something about that you made an observation or you had a thought the other day that the female was possibly leading out the vehicle, like she was getting out or something to that effect. Does
Yes,
that,
the door was open, and the body language was that she was getting out of the vehicle.
That's the thing, John. So John asks, did she do this because she wanted to break up or for attention? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, which is why I'm going to watch her ID channel thing because I want to know. We have no idea because it didn't seem like she wanted to get a divorce from Keith, although she told multiple people that Keith was extremely abusive, which there's no proof of, but just because there is no proof of somebody not being abusive doesn't mean they weren't. But in this case, because she's able to lie about a 22-day kidnapping, I think that Keith probably isn't abusive. She left her kids. She went to stay with her ex-boyfriend, but there was no intimacy there. So I don't know. Nobody knows why she did this. I don't know her. That's why I looked her up. What? Wait, what did I miss? Hold on. Did I miss something?
One seat that gets to the back and then has that double bench.
Same package. Sorry.
Into
I believe she said it was the older lady, the younger lady driving, older lady passenger.
So while you're
Correct.
gone, he was updating us on some prior thoughts that you had in the last couple of days about some of your memory. So he was just telling us, something about that you made an observation or you had a thought the other day that the female was possibly leading out the vehicle, like she was getting out or something to that effect.
Yes, the door was open and the body language was that she was getting out of the vehicle. But what I can't remember is, were her feet on the ground or were they on, what's the thing that cars have? Steps.
Side or running board?
Thank you. That's what I can't remember. I can't
Oh,
remember.
you
if
did
feet
not
were
know her.
actually
Okay.
on the ground or foot.
Oh, you didn't know Sherri Papini? Wait till you see my video coming up. So exciting. I love this video. I had so much fun with it.
Or was it on steps thing?
Okay. And that you had an observation or a thought that the back window in the vehicle was large,
Long,
long?
yes.
Okay, describe, what do you mean by that? I mean, it's one of those, duh, Brian, describe that for me.
Not like
Like a hearse?
truck bed that's covered, like a SUV.
No, don't
Okay.
be
But
sorry.
some SUVs are like shorter.
Right?
It was longer.
And you're talking about from side to side, you're
Yes.
talking about the back, or if it
Not
is
the passenger door window. There was
Actual
another window
rear
past the passenger door window.
so it's a side window. Can we draw it?
Yes, please. I'm a terrible artist, so
That's
please.
fine, so is he, so
Yeah.
between the both of you guys might get a halfway decent
We don't
picture.
do it huge, right? It doesn't have to be.
Stick
I don't
figures.
need all that out.
I think,
I have no idea what kind of car she's describing.
And while
I'm
he's
driving like an
driving,
SUV,
those
right?
types of colors and shapes and stuff is really what's gonna help them about the
And
outside.
it's hard because I wanna say
Like a limo?
black or dark blue, but I'm just not 100% sure, so it's hard for me to actually say a color.
absolutely,
I just remember dark.
I get it.
And that's
You
not,
should
and
not
I,
be
cause that's not something I paid attention to, like, it wasn't something I even thought that I should.
But I watch all those true crime shows. It's just not something that I thought I should pay attention to. But I paid attention to the three men cutting a tree down and it just, oh my God.
Be paying attention to, I guess, I don't know, in that moment.
Yeah, that's definitely not to
It's not a
scale.
scale.
And of course, you're on the wrong side, because that's the driver's side.
Okay, so there's a window, here's the window, and then there's like a longer window
Okay. Gotcha.
behind this window.
So it's what we call a C window for car crashes. Call it.
And so,
Okay.
and for clarification, the vehicle is heading northbound on Old Oregon Trail when you first saw it?
Coming, okay, I'm
We
sorry,
haven't gotten
I'm out of
past
the
this
direction
car.
too.
So if,
I'm
so
so not helpful,
we're
sorry.
gonna be here. So you're running down Sunrise towards Old Oregon Trail.
Correct,
The vehicle, so if you're facing, if you and I are looking out Sunrise to Old Oregon Trail, was the vehicle going this way?
and then backed up.
And then it backed up. So right now I'm pointing, that's northbound, and it backed up a little bit, then that's when you encountered.
Northbound's the side that's closest to Sunrise Drive, correct?
Correct.
Yes, then that's it,
We're
that's the
going
one.
to Chevron.
Yeah, they were on
So
Chevron,
they were heading towards Chevron.
perfect, thank you.
I like you.
And Pete's like, was it a Ford, was it, I'm like, I don't know brands.
We're going to Chevron. It had wheels on it, okay?
So do you, I'll ask a question. Brian,
It's okay, it's okay.
do you recall if you went up towards Chevron, or did you notice if they turned around and went back the other way that they came?
I don't remember. That's
Exactly.
what is very frustrating.
Why?
That would be very frustrating.
She
She didn't
That's
pay
what I-
attention to
Yeah, no,
any of the things that she actually needed to pay attention to.
I'm very frustrated because if you're laying down in a vehicle, you would feel a U-turn, a acceleration, a braking. And I can't find that.
It's just not there yet.
It's
So
a defense
let me-
mechanism.
I'll put it in perspective. So I had an incident not too long ago, and when I talked about something, I said the vehicle was facing this way, and this is where I was, and this is what I did, and this is and I went down this whole list. And then they showed me a photograph of the vehicle that
But that's the thing. She didn't do this to get back with her ex because they never like hooked up. And also that poor guy, imagine being like, oh yeah, Sherri's coming back. We're going to hook up. And then she just beats the shit out of herself for 22 days. Like what a mind fuck. What was important was the HOA was going to be angry with you that the yard grass gets to half an inch high.
I was describing was facing the other way. But at the time of the incident, at the time where I was and what was going on, it imprinted in my mind. No, that fucking car was facing that way. When they showed me a picture and they showed me video of it, that car was facing, and I felt stupid. I felt they're not gonna believe me now. That's how I felt. I'm thinking, I just lied. But at that time, at that moment, given the circumstances I was in, I thought they had to move it. You guys move the car. No, Brian, this is 10 minutes after the fact.
We don't know, Medell.
Because I'm thinking, my God,
we don't
I just
know.
told everybody my version of events, and I was wrong.
That's the point.
A key piece because I said, no, I was right here in front of the truck and and this all happened. Come to find out it was the truck had turned around.
Yeah.
It's just because our minds, and it frustrates me to this day that from where I come from and where my background, it's like, how did I screw that up? I didn't screw it up. This did. This part of me says, for whatever reason, we're looking this way. So when I say I understand your frustration and I get that, I get it. I'm sharing it with you. I don't know if I've ever shared it. I don't think I've shared it with Kyle, but I get it. It's frustrating shit. Because
I don't even know if it was for that.
You may believe or see or smelt or felt.
I don't even know if it was just for attention. I'm gonna watch this documentary with my sister when she gets home, and then we'll reconvene.
And your mind's saying something else, so I get that, and it's frustrating as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Those brain games?
uh-huh.
Sure, those brain games.
So
It's the same thing.
Keith was talking about that you had some observations about the back of the vehicle being slippery, and that maybe there was or
No,
wasn't some seats.
no,
explain
it's
that.
The position I was in was very awkward, and that's why my hips were achy.
Okay.
Because laying on my side for a long period of time, it makes it achy.
Okay.
After I've had 2 kids, it's that fatigue. Because we've taken long car rides before. It's that sitting, that achy feeling. But there was, because I could see light, I could see shadows. As in, we were driving past like a tree. When a tree, even if you have your eyes shut, you drive past a tree and you see the light. I could see that. I could smell the laundry detergent. If I smelled it, I could probably even tell you the smell of the laundry detergent still.
That will be a future trigger.
Okay, yeah. And there was, I know I was attached to a bar or some piece of metal because it was cold. I was on, and there was something underneath me, but where my knee was on carpet because it was itchy.
Ocean, hi.
And there was a hump.
Land of cheese, trees, ocean breeze, knees and Drew Breeze. How are you? Welcome in.
I was facing, I could hear them. I could hear them in the front
Safe from
seat.
no kidnapping.
And my back was too.
Also, Sherri Papini. Sherri Papini is also checking in safe from no kidnapping.
Them, and I was facing the rear. The hump is, I could feel the edge of it. I could lift my head a little bit. And it's this is hard to describe. So if this is close in front of me, I can feel that. I can feel that that's close.
Mm-hmm.
So if I lift my head, I know that there's nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
My head's down. There's something here.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense
Yes.
to you? So I feel like there was,
A lip or
yes,
In
like
front
a
of you?
level up. Yes, in front of me. There wasn't a lot of space between where I was, but there was and that's what I could tell where my knee was, and I could tell when I would lift my head a little ways. But I was very scrunched up.
Did you feel what your back was up against?
No, I don't think my back was up against anything.
Was your chest up against anything?
No.
So you were confined, so you weren't like right behind the front passenger window, so like where your back would be against the driver and passenger seat, and your chest would be at like that wheel well, like where our feet go. Or do you think you're beyond
No,
that?
I was on like it was like the carpeted area, but I feel like it would have been where seats should be, like an area where seats should be.
But not directly behind the driver and the passenger.
There was space in between. But this is better. This is difficult to explain because, okay.
Whatever.
It's
Here's,
difficult to
uh,
explain because it never happened. Bottling a double IPA. What kind? What's it called?
I'm wondering if it's like an elevated rear That's a 3-seat vehicle, has a little elevation.
So here's
Platform.
where the front seats are, okay? Front seats are here. I think there was a seat here. I can't be certain, but I think there was a seat here.
This is driver.
I can't be
Yes.
certain
There's a seat. Was there?
on anything.
There was like stuff, like bars, like not bars, metal pieces. Like there should be a seat here, I feel like. I was here. So there was space. And there's a hump here. This is that hump.
What's
I can't remember if there was a seat there or not. But like here, I could feel it on my skin. Like I could feel the pressure of there being like some kind of metal.
that's the old, like my grandparents had older big SUV, and those were all metal, like where it latches. So like my Jeep, all that ratchets down into a metal piece, like when it folds up and down. So maybe it's one of those. Which side is your head on for the vehicle, if you remember?
This side.
Okay. So as you were going, smiley face, front face, smiley face, smiley face. As you're driving and the light's hitting, the sun's coming through, is that on your face or on your like on your back, like your legs area? What, if you remember, what side is the sun on?
I have no idea. That's fine. I don't know, because I don't really think I saw like as in one side was brighter than the other. I think I just saw shadows. I have no idea.
For shadows, would be the other side blocking the sun. So is that like the same? So would you remember, like, if is your left ear down or is your right ear down?
My right.
Okay. And your face was covered, obviously. Do you remember what side the shadows are on?
Mm-hmm.
If they're towards like maybe like the top of your head as opposed to your chin, if you're looking down or up.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We're not worried about it. It's not a negative. It is.
Oh, that's a
It's
good
frustrating for me
point.
to not have answers.
Medell says it's smart of her to close her eyes when she's remembering so that no one can tell where her eyes are moving. That's a really great point. Beak breaker. Ooh.
For you guys too.
That
I'm
sounds
trying.
good.
But
And these are the little things we're trying to help bring them up if they're there. And this, like a lot of our questions, might come to you at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
That happens, write them down, call me at that time. I don't care.
Okay.
And when you said it was hard to move your head, was it hard because there was an object on it? Or,
I didn't feel well.
Okay.
I felt like a nauseous, dizzy, yucky. I don't know.
And what do you think the time frame from on that road, was it primarily, you said it was curvy, you're kind of getting, like, I'm assuming kind of a car sick nausea besides the stress.
Yes.
Was that for long times, or was it curvy for times, long straights for times, if you remember?
I feel like the times I was awake, it was curvier
Why were you asleep?
than straight. There was more curves than straight. I don't remember any stops. That's what I'm trying to remember. Was there a stop? Did I turn? Or was it just the curves? Or was there a stop and a turn? Right or left? It was curves, like a windy road, not a stop and a turn.
Would they have to brake on the turns, or did it seem pretty smooth?
Some of them, I don't want to say all of them, some of them it seemed like there was brake and acceleration.
That
but not
sounds
all of them.
amazing.
How many times do you
I
think
want
you
to
fell
go
asleep?
there.
Like on that first?
I don't know.
And that's okay. When you got to the first stop that you remember, was it still, was it still right outside? Was it?
I don't remember. I don't even remember getting out of the vehicle. The next thing I remember is I was in a room.
It's pause there. Yeah, stuff like
The last time that I remember waking up, it was still light. It was still bright. Like it didn't seem like it was dark. The last time I woke up in the car, it was bright. But, okay, well, no. I'm trying to think like were my muscles sore? Was my ear sore? Because when I lay on my ear for a long time, it hurts. And I could wake up and I can't remember any of that.
How long does it take for you to get achy hips when you lay on your side? Does that question make sense?
Yes. Trying to think of the last show that I watched during the show, at what point of the show or the movie.
Because I'm a roller. My wife refers it to my alligator roll. When my hips start hurting, I do basically like an alligator roll, and I do a complete somersault in bed and flip to my other hip because I have a hip issue.
And
Well, and that's the thing, right? She doesn't say that they stuck her with anything. She doesn't say that they hit her with anything. She doesn't say she loses these blocks of time, but she can't tell why. Now, when Denise recalls, she was actually injected. The guy, his name was Matthew, I forgot his name, Matthew something, but he actually injected her with something that put her out. And she has none of that.
And so when I lay on my right side,
Labor.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
what do you say?
No, for me, I have hip issues from labor.
When I lay on my right side for about 30 minutes, it aches and annoys, and I have to adjust.
Yeah, I want to say let's like a good like 40. I want to say like it's like one show of Blacklist,
Gotcha.
and then I have to move. Yeah, so it's probably one TV show. So I'm gonna say like 40 minutes, a little less than an hour. Less time on my bed and it's nice and fluffy and comfortable.
Right. Pillows between the knees.
Yeah.
Do you remember any music as you were driving around?
Yes, mariachi music.
Was it a station or
Goddamn mariachi.
I guess in a
music.
radio station.
I love the way she says it too. Mariachi music.
I can't be sure, but did I hear any Pandora commercials? No.
Did you hear any normal commercials? So like if we're listening to a radio.
No, I didn't hear commercials. I didn't really hear, and I don't think I ever heard a complete song from start to finish either. I listened for that a lot in the house too. Like, was this a radio? Was it Pandora or?
Since we've touched it twice, you mentioned the house twice, or location where you remember. Can we talk about that? Start with you. Tell us.
What would you like? The description of the room? Would you like
Sure.
the sounds that I heard? Would you like what I think was there? What would
Yes.
you like?
What was the first thing you remember?
The first thing I remember was the zip ties on my hands. And then the clothing that was very big. It was baggy clothing. It was sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And I did not have socks and I was very cold. And there was zip ties on my hands. And I didn't feel good. I couldn't stand up. I was very dizzy.
Why?
When you first had this in the sweatshirt stuff, is that the same stuff that you were found in the other day?
No,
How so?
because they would change me.
Okay.
Because
Sure, I heard trumpets. There were definitely maracas. I can hear them now.
there was a drawstring on the sweatpants. There was a drawstring on the sweatpants, and the other one didn't have a drawstring.
Yeah, eyes closed again. You're
How many times
right.
do you think you were changed or had to change your clothes? Obviously, at least twice. So it's already.
Yeah, I think maybe one more time.
Did it seem like the clothes were new?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
The sweatshirt, the top was changed more because I was trying to manipulate her. My skin was like on fire. It was really itchy everywhere. And I started this rash that's up in here. It was starting to like swell, starting to swell so bad that it was like putting pressure on my arm. So I was trying to manipulate them. I need some kind of medicine. Like, look at my skin. You need to wash me. You need to give me medicine. You need to get me something. And I was using that and it was so itchy. So they would argue about washing my clothes. And I was able to take two showers. Can't remember if you can call them a shower. It was get in, rinse water down your back and get out. But she let me wash my underpants in the shower.
Were you able to see at that time, or were you still had bag over?
No, I could see.
Okay.
And that was when I was trying, it was always look down. Don't look at us, look down. I was never allowed to look up. The first day with the zip ties, getting out of them because they were behind my back. So I pulled them. I did one of these moves. And that's what this scar right there is from, is the very beginning when I got them off. And I bit them because because Keith and I have even tried this move before, the whole, like power through it and bust it. And I tried that and was unsuccessful. And it cut right here. And I was like, I remember doing this with Keith. How the F do I get these off? And I tried that several times and I tried the power bust it down and that's where it cut in right there. And then I was like, I can't bust through them. So then I just chewed it off and I cut my lip right here and then I busted them. And then it was like, I tried the door. I could tell that the door had a deadbolt at the top, so I couldn't open the door. And then they came in, and that's all I remember from that experience. No, there's something else. No, there's something else before I tried the door. There was something else before I tried the door.
The windows?
No, I don't.
All right, I'm going to have to cut it here because I actually have to go be a mom. And, some of us can't disappear for 22 days. Could use a shower, but couldn't use the bathroom. That's a great point, too, Mr. Pike. Could use the shower, but couldn't use the bathroom. They gave her a bucket with kitty litter, and the bathroom had a toilet, and they allowed her to shower. But good. You guys are so good at this. That's why we're all detectives. Anyways, let me give you my summary. Yeah. All right, let's go through my summary here. Ay. This whole thing. It just... My sister calls her Sherri Papini. Leave it to a 16-year-old. She's like, how's your story about Sherri Papini going? I want you guys to meet her. She's so funny. All right, where is mine? So, all right, here's the overview. This is the interview breakdown. It was bizarre, frustrating, just all of the above. Sherri Papini didn't just lie, she performed, and for nearly an hour, she talked about everything except the crime she made up. Smiling, joking, giggling, her energy was light, playful, even flirtatious at times. She came off as immature, emotionally disconnected, and oddly calm for someone supposedly describing a violent abduction. Her emotions were misplaced, crying when she couldn't remember, but dry-eyed when describing her trauma. Her storytelling was robotic, bullet-pointed, and flat, not chaotic or raw like you'd expect from a real victim. At one point, she even got up to reenact part of her story, and it felt more like community theater than a criminal investigation. So there's behavioral red flags. She wipes her face often, but she has no visible tears. She delivers, quote, symptoms like nausea and being cold, but in a matter-of-fact and rehearsed tone. She can't remember key moments like getting into the car or what it looked like. She can't see anything, but somehow she feels everything. She avoids eye contact, keeps her head down, and hides her face when the questions finally get serious, and appears to be and talks a lot about falling asleep. But she also, in some areas, she seems completely just disconnected from the guys when they're talking, almost like she's disassociating. The story gaps and manipulation, she spends 45 plus minutes talking about chickens, Keith, and Christmas gifts. Her compliments toward Keith were interesting. They feel scripted and self-serving. She feels it's like she's preemptively softening the blow in case he finds out the truth. She shows no interest in justice, no fear of her captors, no natural victim behavior. Her emotional cues are inconsistent. She turns tears on and off like a switch. And then we talked a lot about Denise Huskins, which that case happened in 2015. And Denise Huskins was a real victim, a true victim who got abducted and was held and released, and the police were awful to her. She was disbelieved, dismissed, and accused of faking her own trauma. Sherri, on the other hand, lied and was initially believed. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Denise was telling the truth. They called her a liar. Sherri was lying, and they called her a victim. Final thoughts are she remembers everything that doesn't matter and nothing that does. She feels like she's reciting a script, and she didn't just lie to her husband. She lied to her kids, the public, and even other real victims who went missing at the time, which we will talk about in other videos. There's a woman named Stacy Smart who went missing at the same time, who was legitimately missing and did not get the attention that she needed. So the interview footage was originally published by Crime Circus, and the breakdown uses excerpts for commentary under fair use. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit like and subscribe and drop a comment with your thoughts. We talk about truth behind the headlines and the lies hiding in plain sight. So that is the breakdown for today's live. We'll chat a little bit more before I gotta go. I know that it's such a privilege, 22 days. Imagine. I couldn't make it, honestly. Thanks for the stream. Enjoy your nap. Yeah. The shower is in my bathroom. Where else would it be? Where else? Also, you're glowing. Not a stream complete without... Listen, I'm a tired person. Ugh, I'm a mom of two. Okay, this bitch is tired. I'm so tired all the time. Even if I get a good night's sleep and I drink my double espresso in the morning, this bitch is tired, okay? These kids fucking wear me out. Oh my God. But anyways. Okay, so to recap, I'll be doing long form content on over the summer. I will go live when I can. And I'm back, bitches. And as soon as I'm done with all this court stuff, I'll let you guys know about that too. Thinking about making a dedicated video about that because the fuck. Also, I've talked to my sister. We might have her on the channel to introduce her because she's great. And she's funny as shit. And yeah. Other than that, that's it for me. I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Bye.